Aries, welcome back. We are here to do your read for December. Those of you who don't know, I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame. If you are new to the channel, a very warm welcome. I've pulled the cards ahead of time. Now, during this silly season, if you're wanting a booking, you can go to the link directly below, and I will be doing emergency bookings as well as there will be spaces open, so book now. Also, be very mindful of this moon phase. Now, I will do the moon record either pre-recorded or live, and that will help you navigate through the matrix of the energy that's coming between now and January. Now, I've pulled your cards ahead of time, and I've been guided to the animal totem cards. Your crowning energy is pretty interesting, and it does directly link to this moon energy that will be coming up this month. A lot of the aspects that are made astrologically I will speak about in a separate video, and if I do have time for December, I will actually do it per zodiac sign and explain to you how it directly affects your particular zodiac sign and what's coming up for you. It's also a way that you can actually understand a lot of what is going on with you and the transits, and how you can actually navigate through the problems that do arise, from time to time, especially in connections. Now, your crowning energy is patience, and it does directly make sense connected to the astrology. There's a lot of aspects and conjunctions that are being made to Venus. And you don't just stay in Venus, Aries connected to romance. It's very much also, and your shadow sign is Libra. So Libra is one of the Venus signs, and Venus is making aspects. So it could be directly you are dealing with Libra, but very separately we'll be making aspects to Venus. So it's a very testy time when we do move in. Obviously, we're moving into the silly season. And it's really D-Day in a sense of the previous eclipses. We are moving into an eclipse time as well, where a lot of cycles, it's like D-Day. So it's not just your traditional Christmas. It's not just your traditional New Year. Yes, obviously we do experience those vibrations, but it will be heavier due to those factors. A lot of people had energetically felt very unable to achieve certain targets, and it has been in a very short pocket of time, especially connected to last month where we had the Jupiter energy, where we were trying to fine-tune things. There was shifting around and there was a balancing of scenarios. Now, with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, how it would have directly been affecting you is the balancing of work and finances, and a lot of financial related dynamics have been coming up. But it's also at a very spiritual level. The lesson directly connected is, what are you feeling invested in? What is your spiritual net worth? And a lot of karma with the Capricorn nodes was connected to the past. So you might have been finalizing quite a lot of old tasks that have been quite arduous for you. And that really has come up in your money sector and your read. This is really covering everything. It's covering your general energy, particular areas of your life, and then into the romance read. So I am going to intuitively read as well as connect the dots to my comprehension of the astrology and tune in psychically. Now, the patience is, this can be a very testy time moving into the month, from where you were last month to where you are now. Every lesson has its blessing, and it's almost like your body is emanating through the image and coming to the forefront. So it's really placing yourself on the forefront in a situation, but also having patience with yourself and the things that you're feeling energetically. And I'm going to hyperlink your crowning energy into the rest of it so you can understand how it directly relates. Now, overall, you may have felt like you were going in circles. You have vision and quest in reverse. So you might have felt that you went off track. You might be regressing back, reflecting back, and it is a deeply reflective time. So with that vision and quest, it's like, okay, am I on the right path? And this is really what this month is going to be. Really looking at it, a lot of the aspects that are going to be made in January 2020 are going to be linked into what is going on now, as well as with the previous eclipses we had. I believe it was July, and it's usually a 6-month transit to crossover in energies. So you potentially might be having a real hard look at things and being patient, because there's been some things that you wanted to get off the ground and they haven't gone according to plan. Some of them have, and you may even see the reasons why those things didn't It may have been a need to let go of certain things, and especially with the nodes being in Capricorn, which is past tense karma, tying up of loose ends and a lot of arduous situations cropping up. You may be, it may even be coming to a head in a sense where you have to physically let something go, where it's just not resonating with you any longer. At the heart of your general energy, you have Freedom Horse. And I'm hearing fly like the wind, like really wanting to resurrect yourself out of a situation, leave behind what's not working for you, and move out and away. So a lot of the things you were dealing with were to actually liberate yourself out of old situations and old energies. And you're really wanting to tie up your loose ends before Christmas and New Year, which is perfectly normal, but it's other things that have been going on that have been really holding you back. And I do feel that I'm seeing October for some reason, and potentially even further back, June, July, you may have felt you might have been in a very different place than where you currently are right now. So it is causing some sense of frustration and urgency. I'm also seeing a want and a desire to communicate with somebody. But these situations have actually made it super complicated to get the flow in that area. Now, I do feel you're walking away from something. I do feel you don't quite know what that's going to be, but you're speeding ahead. You're really wanting to go to brighter futures. You're aware that, yes, potentially there could be some storms ahead, but at the same time, you're being very realistic and assessing the vibration and stating, well, if I'm not liking it now, why would I continue liking that vibration? So anything that you're not enjoying, I feel you're tying up, you're neatening up, and you're moving away from it. Now, the patience and the need for this patience in these dynamics that you're dealing with, I do feel that you're going to have to be very mindful, because it can be very sharp tempers flying, and not just for the traditional reasons, but for this situation that you've really been dealing with. I do feel after you tie up these loose ends, what you do have control over, I'm feeling it with this card coming through, Flowing River. I feel everything, you're just going to let it go. That's what I'm hearing. Just let it go. If it's not working for you, letting it go. And I do feel a surprise at hand, and this can be for you or another person, that you're trying to get this done and you're trying to reach out to somebody and you want to tell them what's been going on. You've been unable to, and you're really neating things up. So it can be that you're changing things around the house and you're trying to get things prepared. And it is for a meeting. I'm literally hearing you will not repeat this cycle next year, and that's through sheer will and determination. That it's really been quite a hard lesson that you've learned. It's been a very hard situation that you've been dealing with at an emotional level, and you really, when you look back, I do feel over the last 3 years you've really changed, and I feel it's almost like you don't know that person anymore. And I'm hearing, if I only knew then what I know now, like you potentially may have done things very differently. But it's not in vain. It was serving a purpose and for a reason, and with the weeks and months coming, you will directly understand. I do feel you're allowing people to come to you, but I do feel you're more going with the flow. So it feels like a time frame that you're moving towards, that you have to have these things tied up by, because you have some intents there, some things that you're wanting to do that are very spiritual, very necessary for yourself, very overdue, I'm hearing. Now, in your financial sector, it's interesting because whenever I see this card, I link it to a very spiritual path. Financially, a lot of things that have happened were linked to a lesson and something that you were supposed to be. You're very, how do I put it? I'm feeling this is two messages coming through. One in which you feel you got off path because you got scarred mountain. And this is a very spiritual life. This is about, but it's in your money sector. There is an energy right now linking in with another person, or directly your path with your awakening. It's also, I'm also seeing that you were meant for great things, and these great things, it's like the mountains there, you've reached a point. There could even be rubble, okay? So the rubble I'm seeing could be an old energy, an old dream, an old pattern. that you thought you wanted, but through this frequency you've moved through, you now realize where your path is. It's like actually seeing the hay for the clouds, I'm hearing. You have this very strong connection, like you really do right now, with your finances, with the people, places and things you're investing in. It feels you're on the right track. It feels you're more awake than you've ever been before. I do feel you have a plan. And with the orange coming through in the card, this is very much connected to sacral chakra, and this is your creativity and passion. So I do feel you have a major idea and you're on the precipice of change. So this can even be and I'm feeling this is more linking in with future tense. I don't feel it's just directly linked to December. Although I do feel you do wish to gift it forward and pay it forward to somebody who you care about very deeply. It's a very special, important gift. But this creativity, I feel very separately. There's a business venture you're about to embark on. But you're weighing up the pros and cons between, do you take this dream? And okay, now I'm hearing confusion. You want both. You can have both. Now, what I'm saying, both, it's like the dream and love, the dream and a connection, deep desires and a connection, and traditional. So it's like you're actually you're going back and forward with it, and you're wondering how you can all bring it together. And definitely with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, that has caused some sense of confusion. I do feel you're going to reach an understanding of this, and I feel you're going to reach some peace on it, you know, especially with at the heart of it, in the middle, there's a green patch, and that's really the heart chakra. You're looking back from where you were to where you are, and you've come so far. You're now understanding that I'm hearing traditional life, but it's not a traditional life. It's more wanting to have it all and feeling, is that paradigm even realistic? And it is very realistic. It is this energy I'm seeing is totally attainable. And I'm hearing ask. Your family, your work-related dynamic, there's some things where it's been going a bit haywire, but you're freeing yourself from the situation. I feel this freedom horse that's come up for you in your crowning energy with your general part. I do feel, you know, with your vision and quest in the past, and definitely linking back to the scarred mountain with your finances and your plans and abundance, both with an emotional connection and directly with your finances and what I was talking about before. I feel they're all super linked, especially when you get your work domain, which is Song of the Wild. And I'm seeing reaching for the stars. I'm also seeing a time frame. Let me see. St. Patrick's Day rings a bell, and I don't know why I'm seeing that. It might be the rainbow and, you know, the energy at the end of the rainbow. The song may have a direct message for you inside it, and this is somewhere over a rainbow, but I'm actually hearing there could be trouble, especially with your work, but it's a pause. I'm really feeling a pause and a new beginning. So this could be, and it's a surprise. It's like, wow, what just happened? It's a pause because either A, the way you're going to do your job in 2020 is going to be completely different. And I really did feel this about October, that there was some sense of a transformation happening for Aries, where by 2020, everything you do right now, you simply will not be doing it the same as what you have been doing in the past. And I just feel it's really ending and leaving behind a very toxic cycle. It doesn't mean to say that it wasn't positive in intervals, but I do feel as though you've made a decision, and it's like you literally are on the edge of your seat when it does come to this dream coming. It's so very close, but it's almost taking a risk. It does feel like the Fool card, and taking a risk and a shake up and doing something, but you're feeling it's quite distant, but it's so close. It's like this wish upon a star. I do have a lot of positive energy around that, but I do feel it'll be connected to the eclipse. So I'm feeling a lot of these energies playing out in December are really linked to January. Your family at the moment is going through a healing and a transformation. Now you have owl medicine. Owls are deeply intuitive. It can be connected to a feminine figure, a matriarch, somebody to that degree. But a very, very wise person. Now you do have the energy of a grandmother figure. For those of you who this is relevant, it feels a grandmother figure watching over you during this transitional state. You're also guided to really trust your intuition when it does come to a family-related dynamic. And there can be a time when you will be quiet and you will be observant. And I'm almost seeing you, how do I put it? Like you're sitting at a table with many people and there's chatting going on and talking, but it's like an out-of-body experience. You're visually seeing it and you're like, I can't believe I'm here. But it's not a bad thing. It's like, I can't believe I'm here. Like I made it. And that will be very specific to a certain person who's watching this, and you'll understand what I'm saying. It's from where you came to where you are now. And even very reflective energies. It may have been that you lost somebody most recently. It might be a deeply reflective time of looking around the table at these people. And this can just be a meditation. It doesn't even have to be that you're at the table. But this is what's being shown to me, like an aha epiphany moment, looking around, and it's like a still shot, very similar to the blue in the background here. Quite surreal. You find when you're waking up at 3 a.m., and it happens quite regularly, and this does happen to me, you notice the stillness in the air, the change in temperature drops. It's very cool. And this is usually when the energies in the realm is very thin and you have a spirit in the room. So a lot of times it's like you're in two realms, but you've awoken prematurely and you're having an aha epiphany moment. It's like, wow, I'm a fly on the wall and I can see this. It's when you can actually see the other side, and this may spiritually actually happen to you, or it could be a moment you're physically having, but you've got owl medicine. I'm finding it to be very epiphany moment, aha. Now, when it comes to your love, this is really unique. You've got medicine woman and medicine man. Both parties have gone through a heck of a lot. Both of you are responsible for your own healing in some shape or form. Both of you, and this is what you're looking for in an ideal, right? This is general. I will get down to the romance house, so you've got to place it how it directly links. Both of you have gone through a lot. Be it you're in love with them or you're not, okay? This is the general part of the love domain, and then I'll channel it as in partnered, etc. But there is a healing coming between both parties. There's definitely a balance in the yin and the yang. There's also an energy where both of you are deeply reflective, be it you're together or not, at this point in time in December. And I do see both parties looking back and seeing the light, okay? The light is, how do I put it? There's a sun in the background, but as the sun is setting, it's like letting a chapter close for that new chapter to start. Now, this can be physically you feeling this person's not for me. Their healing work is their healing work. It can also be, for me, I'm seeing whatever it is, be it you with the person or not, it's a turnover of a new leaf, whatever that picture is going to look like for you. And it's going to be a decision you're physically going to make, but it's the two energies looking at each other and making a physical decision. It's a very healthy energy coming through, and any decision is the right decision. So it feels the decision that is being made is the healthiest decision to have, but it feels very positive. It doesn't feel a negative thing. Very quiet energy, very, very meditated energy, very reflective. What you're not seeing, let me see if there's, oh yes, okay. I'm looking if there's reversals. There's 3 reversals on the table. They're moving into the love read and the unseen. So the unseen, you have tribal spirit dance in reverse. I feel this is where Certain pockets of people that weren't meant to be in your life are not there. Again, I am feeling there may have been the energy of a loved one who passed over. I'll show you the card. So this is upright, okay? So this is the other side. I'm sensing an energy where the Neptunian energy is almost you're in two realms. Feels like an out-of-body experience. It's like this feeling, this vibration, a sign or a synchronicity. People that aren't with you, reflective back on them. Reflective of the unhappy times, the happy times. Even choosing to leave the pocket of people behind because they physically no longer resonate with you. I really do feel your guides are around you, and especially for those of you who it relates, you know, whoever this passed over loved one is, like they're really around you and they're helping you through this process. They want you to know that when you're thinking about what they would say in a particular sense, that's their way of communicating with you. Maybe a visual number you see or an animal totem. I'm also something to do with bread and smelling bread. It might have been, you know, something you guys had in common. It also can be the connotation of spirituality, you know, when you're having a baptism and the bread on the tongue, because I'm saying bread as a metaphor, and you've got to take it quite broadly when you're getting messages from source. They may also be making reference to an event that is coming in the future, and they want you to know they're going to be there. This could physically be a baptism. It could be something to that degree, and somebody missing, somebody not there. And if you're wondering if something's going to come together and be rectified and kind of binded in a better sense, the confirmation from source is yes. I sort of feel as though you're a bit down on yourself about this situation. Like you feel you could have done more. You feel if X, Y, and Z had happened, it would have been different. I'm being shown make peace with that. There's also, for those of you who that relates to, there's nothing you could have done. That's what I'm hearing. Certain things have to happen. Certain things play out in life. You do the best you can, and it is what it is. And that can feel, you know, not enough, so to speak. It's like you have very high expectations of yourself, and it's like you're a very strong frequency. You felt you could have done more, but everything, they're saying you need to wait. Everything happens for a reason. You will soon understand. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. If that relates to you and you want me to dig deeper into that, feel free to book a reading, because they do have a lot of energies coming through where they've got messages. And this is the loved one that's passed over. Also, the unseen is there can be an energy of a person coming back from the past out of nowhere, and it's going to be unannounced. And you'll think it was all dead and gone, and it's literally they're coming back from the dead, so to speak. So that's one very strong message coming through. Now, in your romance house, okay, the cross watcher, there are going to be some burdens that you're letting down, that are going to be alleviated, and this can be within the connection. It can be also on your side of the fence, or a belief, but you've got white buffalo in reverse. I'm also hearing after Christmas, because directly there's snow on here, and you're probably thinking, when's this going to ease up? I'm hearing after Christmas. This may have been going on since July at a spiritual, emotional, physical level, where you felt quite stuck, where you had been dealing with external situations, and it directly might have been impacting the path. Now, Aries, you guys have got tracker in reverse as well. So both energies in this romantic connection have reversals for their crowning energy. You both had situations playing out in your life that was impacting this scenario, but the interesting energy is what's coming through in between. Through you, Aries, going off track, I feel you're going to see the blessing in disguise. Because I do feel potentially with the things you've been dealing with, it might have been impacting it if X, Y, and Z had happened. That's what I'm being told. But it's also, see the silver lining. Okay? Walk in beauty. I do feel you feel this person is super attractive. I'm also feeling you need peace within yourself and you just see the wonderful energy you are. You are going to have brighter days in romance. It's so, anything you guys have dealt with, what's coming is so much better. That's what's being shown to me. Regardless of where you stand right now in your life, you have 3 cards that are super positive. You have medicine back. You've got smudge ceremony. This can also be an engagement. This is what I'm being shown. Especially with this energy of finances, you know, and money. Scarred mountain, dealing with tasks, perhaps a lot of traveling this year. And the channeled energy that was coming through in the financial sector, the money sector, was really wanting to buy a very important, expensive gift that you realised your energy was held elsewhere during a time that you really wanted to create the balance. And this is really make and break in connections at the moment. Spiritual connections are very unique. It's your scarred path. And for some of you, this is a scarred path. So, you know, the end is never the end. And there never is an end. It's infinite potentialities and rebalancing and lessons and being able to learn how to manifest. And that manifestation is complete release. This smudge ceremony is, it's almost like your energy is going to be purified. And it's the heart of the read of the romance house for both individuals. Whatever you guys both have been through. This blessing coming into your life is going to be very scarred, very sacred, very, very protected. You're both very protective of each other as well. And this is what you're wanting in a connection. You know, if you're really walking out the door, you know, in a situation, this is really what you're wanting and this is what you've manifested. But there is healing coming. Both energies heal and see the beauty in each other. You see the value in each other. This situation has actually helped that transpire because both of your energies are in reverse. And potentially both of you needed each other in a particular way, but due to the external influences, it had directly impacted you. And I feel the energy really shifting back onto the purity of the connection. I do feel a holiday for some of you. I feel a quick getaway. This can be actually occurring during this time, during the transit in December. Or potentially in February, I'm saying. Some of you may have a piece of art that looks very Egyptian. It could even be a gift that's coming to you, but there's an Egyptian connotation, especially with the birds and the phoenix. And it does really look like the phoenix on the card. I'm also seeing a large building. This could be a hotel stay. It could also be overseas. It could even be America. It's a very, very large building. There's 3, this could be 3rd time lucky, but I'm also seeing a connotation and a correlation to 3. 3 for some reason. It could be the, you know, masculine, feminine, the trinity. It just, I'm saying 3. It's a balance. I'm also seeing if you're asked to go on a holiday with a person, there's healing. Take your bags and go. And that's particularly because of, you know, it looks like a holiday location, you know, distance, a healing between the both individuals, and get your bag and go. But there's healing in, regardless of what's happened, there is potential for healing here. even if you're not seeing this person and you're an Aries or you're the cross watcher, that message could directly be for you. It's like if you just need a break, if you just need some time out to do some healing, be it on your own or with this individual, however that pans out, follow your intuition. And the amethyst come through this morning for me before channeling, and I really do feel our crown chakras, and I do highly advise that moving into the end of December, although it's Christmas and New Year's and we're getting to the point where we're wanting to indulge, etc., be very mindful and get yourself detoxed, because the astrology in January is very heavy. Use some crystals to protect yourself. Also pay attention to the channel, because I will be putting up some updates as to how you can actually balance that energy this month. I'll talk about the eclipses, I'll talk about the astrology, and also give you some tips and hints how to balance your chakras so that you can cope with the January frequency, because it's going to be very heavy. Love and light. I hope these messages connected with you and you got something out of it. Please do look at your sun, moon, rising and Venus, because they will directly relate, and especially pay attention to the astrology updates that I give that can help you. Love and light. May you have a happy Christmas and a very safe new year. And my thoughts and love are with you. Thank you for subbing and sharing.